We are back in Shropshire. This is not a reveal of another room in my house, and we are talking about sleep and nighttime routines. Here's something you may not know about sleep. If you want to learn a new skill, sleep can be more important than continued practice. As the brain will continue to cement the memory as you snooze. Getting more sleep has been proven to improve endurance, points per minute, and free throw average in professional basketball players. Or if running is more your jam, getting a full night's sleep can improve your sprint time by up to 5%. Sleep improves reaction times.
Think fast!
Cardiovascular capability, reduces the likelihood of injury, and increases recovery time. Okay. I'm guessing you're not all athletes, so here's another angle for you. Sleep strengthens the emotional components of a memory, as well as reorganizing and restructuring them, which has been shown to help with creativity. Okay, just one more. Sleep and metabolism are controlled by the same bits of the brain. When you are sleepy, certain hormones go up in your blood, and those same hormones drive appetite. Well, there are loads more surprising benefits to sleep. If you haven't already, definitely check out Dr. Matthew Walker's book, Why We Sleep, or listen to the episode he did on the Joe Rogan Experience. I will link both of those in the description box. But today we're going to talk about how you can get more sleep and all those lovely benefits that come with it. And we're going to look at introducing a consistent nighttime routine that will signal to your busy brain that it's time to slow its roll. I don't really have a bedtime routine. I am blessed in that I'm pretty good at being able to catch those Z's, but that's not always been the case. Routine generally has helped me get a handle on my sleep, and yet I've never bothered to craft some bedtime rituals that will increase the quality of that sleep. I always go to bed at the same time, and the only other thing prior to that I do religiously is my skincare. Other than that, anything goes. I don't know if that's a song. Let's take a look at some data, shall we? Mama knows what you like. So I tend to get mid-70s to 80s on my sleep score and average out somewhere between 6 and 7 hours, which doesn't surprise me because with my regular bed and wake times, the most I could get would be 7.5 hours. And I do wake fairly frequently, but I'm also able to get back to sleep really quickly. But if you look at the different cycles of sleep versus the desired benchmark, I am coming up short, especially when it comes to REM and deep sleep. Whatever shall we do? I'll tell you. I'm going to turn to some internet inspiration, trying out a few sleep tips from some famous people and seeing if anything resonates with me. I've chosen one idea per element of self-care. If you don't know what I mean by that, we're talking financial self-care, occupational self-care, physical self-care, mental self-care, emotional self-care, intellectual self-care, environmental self-care, social self-care, and spiritual self-care. Boom. And then at the end, I'm just going to add the best ones to my nightly routine. And I'll be sleeping like the Rock in no time. So let's get into it, shall we? Our first inspiration is Rachel Ricketts, educator, speaker, and author of Do Better, Spiritual Activism for Fighting and Healing from White Supremacy. I'll link the book for you below. Rachel leads workshops, speaks at events, and writes about the systems of oppression that work to stifle black and brown people. Rachel's work is tireless, all-consuming and important, but heavy going. So a defined relaxation schedule is vital. Rachel says, "I will not survive this world or this work if I don't prioritize and center myself." Rachel's routine, among other things, includes nurturing and connecting with her inner child. To do this, she uses a visual representation, a happy photo that she keeps on her nightstand as a reminder of this important work. But the aspect of her routine that we're going to be taking on is switching off and powering down our tech so that we can do the same for ourselves. Rachel has her phone automatically set to switch to Do Not Disturb at 7:30 every night, and now so do we, right? This means she can fully disconnect from the embodied and involved heart-centered work she does day in, day out, and really allow herself to unwind. Once the phone is off, she needs to get all of that energy out, and she does this by shaking it out, starting with her head and introducing legs, arms, feet, just to release the energy. Okay, we're disconnected. Let's move on. Gal Gadot's approach to self-care is all about emanating positivity from the inside out. The Wonder Woman actor says that the better her wellness practice is, the better she is. And she's found quite a few evening activities that she can do to help clear her head, especially when she's feeling overwhelmed. But the one we're going to try out is cooking. I don't find cooking relaxing, but I treat it like such a chore that I've just convinced my own brain that it's a bigger deal than it is. I do cook all my meals because health, but I tend to batch cook the most boring food you can ever imagine. So let's put that mentality aside and cook something from scratch with a focus on enjoying the process and not just trying to rush through it for the sustenance. When I was trying to decide what to cook, I wanted something quite lengthy, fairly involved but not crazy technical, and, most importantly, something worth it at the end. I also had to consider the ingredients I had to hand, and that certainly helped narrow things down. Al and I used to go to one restaurant pretty frequently because I was crazy for their cauliflower tacos, so that's what I'm making. Obviously, I'm not going to do this every night, but I might consider trying more recipes. I also might not. Remember, this is about finding what works for me/you. It doesn't all have to be a winner, baby. We've just used the kitchen, so it seems only right that the next item on our self-care evening routine is to clean it. I was really surprised when I found a celebrity that incorporated environmental self-care into their nighttime routine. But with Billy Porter being an ambassador for Clorox Scentiva, which is apparently a cleaning brand, I guess the opportunity for a little extra marketing was too much to pass up. Regardless of whether this is actually part of Billy Porter's evening routine or just a cash cow, I am here for it. Billy says he cleans his kitchen every night so that he can wake up to a clean space, and I love this idea. I keep my house clean generally, but I can see how a quick wipe round before bed can be a soothing experience, and I agree that it helps my mental health to wake up to cleanliness rather than dirty dishes and a mess. Billy Porter also advocates for sleeping in the nude, but I don't believe he merges the two activities, so I've kept these risque PJs on so you get the full experience. You are welcome. It's far from news that there's a lack of space and resources allocated for Black women to heal. So, Jasmine Marie created such a space. Jasmine is a breathwork practitioner and founder of Black Girls Breathing, which offers meditation and breathwork classes focused around Black people healing. Marie realizes that in order for her to continue this important work, she needs to prioritize rest, saying, "As someone who's in the healing business, as that business grows, I'm holding space for more people. I really had to relearn what it looks like to rest and how I rest. To be honest in what I need in this particular chapter, and finding that what worked before isn't working now. One of Jasmine's signals to rest is reducing and removing harsh light. She uses candles in the evening, which will signal to her brain that it's time to start winding down. Our internal rhythms rely on the dropping light in the evening to regulate our sleep-wake patterns, but most of us use artificial light all the time, and therefore our poor little circadians are confused as hell. Alongside low lights, Jasmine adds to this soothing sensory space by introducing relaxing scents. In fact, she says she taps into all 5 senses when she's thinking about creating a space that's vibey and calm and in alignment with how she wants to feel. If darkness ain't your thing, then don't count out Jasmine's wisdom yet. She also makes sure to give herself what she needs before she falls asleep. She says it's not always breath work. It could be lying down listening to her favourite lo-fi music. It could be a podcast. And she loves a good bedtime story meditation. Or sometimes she does a body scan coupled with thanking each part of her body and being grateful for what she has. So let's do that. If you've not done a body scan before, it's just about focusing your attention and awareness on each part of your body. We're going to start from the head, you could start from the feet, and just being aware of what's going on there. Any tension, racing thoughts, just note it and move along. And for this exercise, we're also going to thank it. Get comfy. Starting with the head. Notice anything that's going on there. Just notice, don't assign meaning to it. And thank it. Be grateful for what you have. Thank you, head and mind, for getting me through this day. Moving on to the shoulders and the neck. Thank you for all the weight you carry for me. Thank you, arms and hands, for all your strength and how you help me help others. Thank you, torso, for centering me. Thank you for giving me balance. Thank you, legs, for all the opportunities you open up for me. And thank you, feet, for the distances you carry me and for grounding me. So there are loads of ideas there for you, greedy. Rachel Brosnahan plays the immense Miriam Midge Maisel in The Marvellous Mrs. Maisel. And if you haven't seen it yet, treat yourself, it's on Prime. Now Midge has a pretty extreme nighttime routine. She wakes herself up twice during the night. Once after her husband has fallen asleep to remove her makeup and do her skincare, and the second time to reapply that makeup before he wakes up so that he never sees her without it. Now thankfully, Rachel's nighttime routine is a lot less driven by old-fashioned ideals and the patriarchy. Rachel isn't a great sleeper, so she offers this advice to those with the same affliction. I need to sleep with an eye mask on, and depending on what's going on in the neighbourhood, sometimes I'll sleep with earplugs in or even with a white noise machine. Now I am a pretty good sleeper, so I've chosen a different element of Rachel's routine. Oh, Flumpy! Oh, come here to your mama. Oh, come here to your mama. Oh, you very good boy. Oh, you very good boy. Angel boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh no, we were snuggling. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. You're such a good boy. Who's a good boy? Who's the goodest? Who's the goodest boy? Who's the goodest boy? Yes. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yes. Snuggle time over. Rachel says that she always has a little pupper snuggle of an evening. It's her consistent form of self-care, and I am here for it. If you want to know more about the well-being effects of adorable animals, then make sure to check out my wholesome puppy content video. In fact, even if you don't want to know more about the well-being effects of adorable animals, do it for your soul. So you're not going to sit there and tell me you don't know who Drew Barrymore is. So I'm skipping the particulars on this one. Drew is a busy, busy lady, but she always makes time to wind down in an evening and spend time with her family. She says she tries to read a book to her kids every single night, but I seem to have mislaid my children again. Fluffy, can you stop licking your... Yeah. So I'm gonna go with one of her other tips. Every night, Drew writes a gratitude list. She says sometimes it's one thing, sometimes it's 10 things, but as well as ending the day on a thankful note. Literally. It's a note of thanks. Oh. It makes her more aware of the things she's thankful for throughout the day and the good in her day, because something will happen and she'll think, oh, that can go on the list tonight. She went from living the simple life to craving a life that was more simple. She gardens now, she has chickens and kids, much the same thing. And she starts to wind down at 7 p.m. every evening, if you can believe it. She does things like rubbing lavender oil on the bottom of her feet to relax her. She is a changed woman. Oh my god. I'm a changed woman. Richie loves to fall asleep reading and makes sure she always has a book on her nightstand even when she's travelling. She mentioned reading On Beauty and Lonesome Dove, but I'm going to read Anxious People, a memoir about me. But I'll link all of these books for you below. Oh, cute illustrations. Janet in The Good Place. Janet is neither a human or an eternal being, but rather an anthropomorphized vessel of knowledge, akin to artificial intelligence. Both Janet and Carden are equal parts earnest and hilarious, but Carden's approach to sleep is no joke. She says there's nothing heroic about sleeping for 4 hours. You're a better person if you get a good night's sleep. She says she would like to get on her soapbox and yell that. I say go for it, girl. As well as relaxing with a herbal tea and a hot water bottle, Darcy has a favourite sleepy time playlist she goes to when she's in need of some soothing sounds to lull her into her dream world. Carden and her husband discovered the playlist when they were staying in Amsterdam, as it was playing in their hotel all the time. It's called the Dylan Amsterdam Hotel Playlist, and I will link it for you below. Darcy says it's perfect. I don't even know why it works, but the second I hear that first song, I'm like, okay, good night. So, okay, good night. Good morning. When I went to bed last night, I did feel like super chill and cozy in my own self. I fell asleep easily, but I always do. And then I slept okay, no major instant changes, but as with any routine, as with anything worth having, it's about applying it consistently. Like I said at the start, not all of these ideas are going to resonate with you, not all of them resonated with me, not all of them are going to stick. So the ones I am going to be consistently, reoccurringly implementing into my nighttime routine are low lights and scents, cleaning the kitchen, puppy cuddles, and phone on do not disturb. And I'll see how I go. If you want to know more about the vast benefits of sleep, check out the article I wrote that I've linked below about sleep as a performance enhancing drug. Or, of course, read Dr. Matthew Walker's book. And if you want a full video on sleep, hit me up. And remember, take care of your sleep, and everything else will take care of itself.